Hey guys, it's me, Cosmic, and I just remembered in my first VR chat video, I said that I would talk about myself for a bit in at least one of my videos. It's basically a self-introduction, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Although, am I actually recording? Just give me a second real quick. Am I? Yeah, I'm recording. Okay, good, good, good. So, first off, my name is Kane, or you could call me Khan as well. My actual name is Khan, but when I'm in Europe, in Britain specifically, I usually tell people to call me Ken or Kane because it's usually easier because there are multiple ways of saying the name Khan. You can do it with a H, with two A, and so on. So I just usually say Ken or Kane because it's easier for them to say. And I was born in England, specifically Shrewsbury, and I lived there until I was about six, I believe, either six or seven. And then my parents took me to Turkey, which is my ethnic homeland. And while there, I believe again, either at six, maybe, I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. And obviously, as a kid, you don't really know what that is. So I don't know. It was just there. It was something that I knew about, but you know, I didn't know just enough to do much about it. Well, can't exactly do anything about it, but regardless. And in Turkey, I went to both college as well as I don't know the English of what's it called before college, middle school or something. Yeah, I think it's middle school. That's where I was. And sadly, although my English as well as physics and a few other classes in general were really good, the problem was maths. I was extremely bad at maths to the point where I had to get extra special training in order to give me at least somewhat of a chance of actually passing. But sadly, that didn't work well. Not only because, well, I just wasn't good at it. I guess we can say that way. My relationship in class with my other classmates were not good. Oh, and don't even get me started on attempting to talk to the opposite gender that you happen to be attracted with. Or don't even get me started on that nightmare. But yeah, and eventually I just had enough, so I quit. And I went back to the UK. I saved up some money. My mom and dad also made up to help me out as well. And I went back to the UK. My dad works there at the moment, and so I stayed with him for the majority of the time. And I went to school in the UK, well, college back again. And honestly, it was really nice experience. Sure, my math skills are still terrible, but still, just getting educated in the UK was a much, much greater experience. And because the people there actually knew like what Asperger's is, they were able to like treat me and understand me the way that doesn't turn like the learning experience into a nightmare. To this day, I really do love the British education system. Now, fair enough, obviously, if you yourself are hardcore British, as in you were born in Britain and you've been there for the majority of your life, then you will definitely be able to well, you will definitely be able to see the well, less nicer aspects of it, fair enough, but my experience in general with Britain was amazing. And I should touch on this real quick because now it's in my mind, and once something is in my mind and I feel like I should be saying it, it doesn't get out, so it just gets stuck. So I'm just gonna say it. I'm not telling you I have Asperger's syndrome because of like, oh hey, I have this condition. Look at me, please pity me and try to be nicer to me or anything. Like, no, don't treat me any differently. I don't prefer that. I'm just saying it because, you know, it's a self-introduction, and hey, that's a core aspect of me, and so let me talk about it. Now, thankfully, because it's minor Asperger's syndrome, I call it Asperger's because when I say it the other way, Asperger's, it just makes me think of actual Asperger's, which, you know, is not exactly appropriate. So I call it Asperger's. Well, Asperger's instead. Now, just in case you didn't know, minor Asperger's syndrome is very much like the cousin of high functioning autism, essentially. It's not a learning disability, it doesn't make learning difficult. So the mathematics aspect was not because of my Asperger's, not at all. It was just me not being good at it and not liking it. Like I said, it's not a learning disability, it's more of a social one. Now, thankfully enough, with the help of my mother as well as a lot of therapists and my dad, I was able to not necessarily beat, but well, dial down certain aspects of Asperger's syndrome to the point where I can actually like do social things without it being a complete nightmare. Just a second. Okay, it's gone. And for example, eye contact. Eye contact for a very long time was extremely difficult for me to do. And I hated even trying to do it because it was just such nerve breaking. But over time, with like my mom and dad, like, you know, gassing me up while I'm interacting with people and, you know, getting me a bit more excited and so on, over time, I was able to start being comfortable with it. Sure, I don't really like it, but I can do it now without it feeling extremely difficult. I can do it. I just prefer not to because, you know, it's still around there. Um, I'm trying to think of the English word for it. Give me a moment. Repetitive behavior, yeah. Repetitive behavior is also one of them. Current hobby, which is writing. And I engage in writing a lot. In fact, give me a moment real quick. Yep. This is how much I write in a single year. Pretty much. I got these books at the very top because there is no space left. And yeah. And as you can, well, as you just saw, the amount of books that I would write was just ridiculously a lot. It's as if it's my profession or something, but no, it's just a hobby. And that's where this YouTube thing comes into play. You see, when I started YouTube, I did not think about, oh hey, I want to be the next PewDiePie or the next Markiplier, and like no, I just did this because one, I was curious about it, like what's it like making videos and uploading them on YouTube? How does it feel when you get views? How does it feel when you get likes? When you get comments, does it like make you feel nicer about yourself or like anything different? So it's mainly curiosity and also as a secondary hobby for me to engage in. So I decided I would try YouTube. And that's why, for example, if you've noticed, I don't like put a whole lot of effort in the videos. I barely do any editing at all. Again, because I don't plan on becoming like a professional YouTuber or anything like that. That's just not what I'm interested in. And also, if you've noticed, like in my videos, I do laugh a lot, mostly in the horror ones because, you know, when you get scared, you can't help but laugh a little bit. But that is only like a fraction of what actually goes on when I'm playing in VR chat. And obviously, when it's not in those videos, it's more, I guess it's not obvious to see that I'm a little bit odd, but also the fact that it would be extremely boring to watch. Like, you couldn't watch that thing for more than, like, I don't know, 10 minutes or something. You would get bored out of your mind because I am very quiet. Again, it's not that I don't feel or hear, I do hear them. I do have emotions. I'm not a psychopath. It's just that I don't display them very well. Like, there has been multiple instances where, for example, currently I am lucky enough to be able to have my own business, which is a small cafe here in Turkey, in Didim, Queen's Tea. I do have an Instagram. I'll probably put the link of it on this video so that you can go check it out if you want. And that's one of, before I got to open my own cafe, the reason why most of the time I would end up leaving the job, just rage quitting, aspie raging all over the fucking place, or it happened to me in college a lot, was again the issue of displaying the fact that you do in fact have emotions, you are feeling. Most of the time, even when I'm watching a comedy thing, I do find it funny, I just don't facially display it. Obviously, there will be a few jokes that make me just roar in laughter, which I do love the experience of, but most of the time, I'm just, staring blankly, which can sometimes cause people to think that I'm angry or sad or jaded. But in reality, no, I'm just neutral. In fact, overall, I'm a fairly happy person. I'm glad about quite a lot of things. I'm generally speaking happy. But if you were to see my face in a casual setting, you would think I'm like angry or like annoyed or something like that, because our faces tend to display that. Even my mom has that same thing, because my mom is also Asperger's. And oh god, saying mom and Asperger's at the same time feels very weird. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it Aspie. Yeah, just call it Aspie to make it less weird sounding. Yeah. Now, other than that, as for video plans, obviously because my main hobby is writing and I still enjoy it and I still do it, videos are not likely to be a main thing. Obviously, I'll still post videos, but I'm thinking about posting more about astronomy because I love astronomy. I love the. Hey guys, this is Cosmic from the future, and I just wanted to clarify a part because I don't think I made it detailed enough. At least I feel like it wasn't detailed enough. So, the astronomy videos, they are going to come, but they're not going to be a majority of the channel. In fact, they're gonna be like very little of them. So it's still going to be mainly a gaming channel. I'll just have a few astronomy videos here and there. And I'm also thinking about making them in a somewhat podcast-like form. It's gonna start off like a solo podcast at first, but later on I'll definitely invite my friends, and hey, if they want to, it will be pretty good. And yeah, that's just what I wanted to say. I hope you have a great time. And about VR chat, yeah, I just wanted to mention VR chat real. Oh, okay, VR chat real quick. VR chat has been amazing for me. Like, the thing at the moment, I'm in Turkey right at the moment, and I live in the middle of nowhere. Pretty much. Even by like Turkish standards, I live in a very isolated area. It's just a town, and there's not a whole lot of people, especially my age. Like, there are old people a lot, mostly because the town itself used to be like a farm area. It wasn't that developed for the longest time. As such, it never attracted the younger generations. Obviously, now there are a decent amount of young people around my age or even younger, but obviously, the general population just isn't like the kind of population that is fun to engage with, because they're too old. They're not gonna understand anything I say. And again, because it's very small, I rarely get to talk to people. And obviously, despite being Asperger's, I am still, at the end of the day, a member of the human race. And in case you didn't know, us humans, we have a tendency to be extremely social. Even like the introverts amongst us will desire to interact with others. This includes autistic people and Asperger's as well. We do want to interact with people at least every now and then, and remember that, hey, you're not the only human in the planet. There are others that you can talk to and interact with. go say hi or something. Of course, it's terrifying to actually go and say hi, but when it does happen, it feels nice, but even small talk can feel like a damn blessing at times. It really does. Like when I get to have small talks with the small shop owner that I go to get my groceries with, it's like a few seconds. Like like I said, it's a few seconds, it's barely any time. But even that feels like a full on conversation and a blessing because I just don't get conversations in general. As a result, even the smallest ones become valuable. But VR chat has helped me out with that greatly. I get my daily dose of interaction from VR chat. I go into like a Uno lobby or a Would You Rather lobby, maybe Murder House 4, and every now and then some of the guys and I will end up having a bit of a conversation. Sometimes the person is a girl, which it surprised me by a lot, by the way. I just want to mention that surprised me a lot. I was not expecting the genders to be that evenly distributed in VR chats. It's quite evenly distributed. You got just as many girls as guys and gays and trans and so on, so on, so on. You get quite a lot of people there, more than I was expecting. But like I said, because I get to talk to them, again, it's like having a conversation in the shop again. Sure, it's not long, it's very short, but it feels like a blessing because I rarely get to have them in general, which is why I've pretty much fallen in love with VR chat, and I am planning on getting a VR headset for a more, how do you say it, immersive experience. Yeah, I like it a lot. And yeah, that's about it. If you like the videos, then give him a like if you feel like it. You don't have to. Even just a simple view makes me remember that, oh, hey, there are people out there that can see you. You're not alone. Which, it helps the mood. It helps me feel nicer. So, yeah. Anyways, have a great time, and I'll see you again.